Hey girls, so sorry I'm late to the party, but there's a good excuse, but no excuse is better than the fact that I'm a grown woman and I can get online whenever I feel like it. So, we are doing ambitions. I have to be honest with you, I've been very depressed lately, so I haven't been connecting to shows like I usually do. So my reviews this week may be a little lackluster. They may. We don't know. We just don't know. So anywho, I did not click play on this television show with the plans to watch Essence Atkins's behind. I saw her butt. That was like the first thing I saw on the show. Like you press play, you hear what was it? Leave the Lights On by her. And it's like, okay, hey, you know, it's cold outside. Like she's singing down, and I'm like, you know, grooving and snapping. And then I look up, and I see Essence Atkins's butt cheek, and I'm like, no, not the big sister from Smart Guy. I wasn't prepared. I still, even though Essence Atkins is decades older than me, I still think of her as a young person, a little girl. Because again, every time I see her, she on Smart Guy, you know. So it's very uncomfortable for me because she's always played like Disney friendly roles. Every time I see her, you know, she's playing something light and airy and fluffy and young, and it's like, oh, I'm looking at I'm looking at the big sister, TJ Henderson's big sister's booty on TV this evening. Okay, all right. I just really wasn't ready. She and her man are in the bed. He kissing all on her, and you know they're getting ready to do the do. She says, "I love your hands on my body," and he just sits right up like, hold the phone, time out, stop, cut. Where have I heard that before? I was like, where have you heard that before? Spill the tea. You know, I'm listening. He goes on to explain to the audience, the viewing audience, that is me and you, that apparently Essence Atkins done cheated. She done cheated. And apparently he either maybe saw a tape or he heard a recording. You remember on Scandal, very sidebar, but on Scandal back in the day, when that recording leaked and you heard Fitzgerald say, take off your pants or take off your clothes or whatever he said, I hated it. I just had to come in and let y'all know, simply hated it. But he has heard or seen this woman cheating. He didn't just find out about it, but he was a part of it, I guess. He's sitting up in the bed and she's like, you know, I thought we were going to get past this. And I'm like, you thought kind of wrong, because men don't usually, men have a much harder time getting past cheating, even though they can do it all they want to, whatever, anyway. So he, you know, storms out the room basically and leaves her there. But before he does, excuse me, before he does, she's like, you know, I cheated with him, and he's like, say his name, what's his name? I was like, is it Jesus? Say his name, Jesus, what's his name, Jesus? I grew up in the church. His name, in case she has forgotten, because he never will, is what he tells us. His name is Damian Collins. I said, no, who is Damian Collins? Like, I'll be a real nosy. I'm like, who is Damian Collins? Girl, tell me, whom is Damian Collins? So he storms off. Next thing we see is legendary blacktress Robin Givens. She walks in a room, honey, and there's a girl sprawled out on the bed. And I'm like, Lord, is this her daughter? And she's like, Tracy, come on, get up. You know, mama waiting on us. I'm like, Lord, Tracy ain't moving. She's like, Tracy just, honey, she's giving. And I am telling you, I am gone. I'm gone. Gone to glory. And legendary blacktress Robin Givens is like, Tracy, you know, shaking her, get up, get up. We see Brian White. Now, I really hate to do this, because he's one of the staple actors in the black community. You know, he's held us down in plenty of Tyler Perry movies. He's held us down in just a lot of black movies. But Brian White looks like Little Richard. He's not cute. My mama pinpointed another big issue with him. His head and his neck are the same size. So it's just like, there's no, you know how my head, you see my head here, it goes boom into the neck, comes out and back out into the shoulders. Brian White don't have the boom into the neck. It's very sad. I hate that for him. But he looks like Little Richard. He does not give me sex appeal in any way. In any way. But anyway, he comes into the room and he's giving, Tracy dead. I don't know why you try to wake her up. She dead. Because she tells him to call 911. I mean, 911 ain't gonna do nothing, she dead. I'm like, well, they could at least roll the body on out the house. She don't have to just lay there for the rest of y'all's lives. 911 will come and get the body. She found a needle on the floor, and this is what leads us to know that Tracy has overdosed. Now, I don't know what kind of drugs Tracy was taking with that blood drawing needle. That needle was huge. Huge. That needle was like this big around. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know when the girls take, now I watch a lot of Intervention, so I know this, not because I've been doing drugs, but when the girls are doing drugs, heroin, crack, PCP, I don't know, they have those little skinny, the real skinny needles that are like maybe this long, and then you just boop right in the arm, and then woo, hi. According to Intervention. Again, I have no knowledge of this. Anyway, girl, Tracy is dead, and Little Richard comes by and says, you know, you're next, and pulls a gun and pop. And then all of a sudden, legendary Black actress Robin Givens is waking up. And I'm like, well, thank God, you know, that it was all a dream. But we need to check on Tracy. Has anybody seen Tracy? Because at this point, I'm like, who is Tracy exactly? But we need to check on her. We need to check on her nonetheless. So legendary Black actress Robin Givens goes downstairs and sits at the table. She unfluffs her napkin, puts it in her lap, you know, very daintily, very daintily. The dress she had on was legendary, and her weave was legendary. That straight bone straight. Can't nobody tell her nothing in that weave, and couldn't nobody tell me nothing either. She goes, sits at the table. Little Richard is down there at the table as well, and Carly comes downstairs looking very, you know, youthful, young. I said, is that the young lady that was stalking Alex on Star? I believe that's her. I didn't do my Googles, but I think that's her. She sits down at the table, and legendary Black actress immediately starts going in on her. Now at this point I'm like, is this Tracy? But then legendary Black actress calls her Carly, and I said, well, is she Tracy Carly? Carly Tracy? Who is Tracy? We hadn't got to the root of that. But Carly is in college. She is a theater studies major. Theater studies. And her mama don't like that. Her mama wants her to be a lawyer like she is, and like the granddaddy and the great-granddaddy. Everybody been a lawyer since the beginning of time. Since they let blacks go to school, everybody in their family been a lawyer. But Carly wants to be a theater major. Theater. And she's like, girl, I just don't really feel it. I just don't think I should be a lawyer. Her mama ain't feeling it. I guess Little Richard is maybe more on her side as far as theater studies, but her mama wants her to be a lawyer. I feel like if you're not passionate about something, you won't be a good something. So her mama making her be a lawyer, she won't be a good one because she's not gonna like it. Anyway, then we swoop over and we see Auntie at a restaurant. Now I don't know who Auntie is at the time, but she at a restaurant, and I wrote on Twitter. If you follow my Twitter, I got a new Twitter called well, it's @KRambling, and it is literally my show notes. It's my show notes. I know a lot of people do that on Patreon and stuff like that, but girl, just pop on over to the Twitter and you can see every thought I have during the show. So I've got Ambitions up, I've got Pose up, I've got Queen Sugar. I feel like there's one more that I need to do. I don't know, whatever. I think Ladies Night will probably be up in a little while, but anywho, going over to the Twitter and you can read my notes. These are the actual notes that I'm reading right now to give y'all the review. So, little inside information. But anyway, we go to Auntie's restaurant, girl, and I wrote on Twitter that I can already tell I don't care about the storyline. And I don't know what was going on. A white man came in, threatened her life, threatened her daddy's life, and she said she was gonna stick a knife up his behind. I didn't care. I just did not care. God bless her though. Let's see. So we're sitting at the office, Miss Atkins' office, Essence, and I again wrote on Twitter, I'm praying and asking God, do I like this wig? And I don't think I do. Now it was cute. Later on they went to a gala and she had it, swooped up in the bike, and leaning over into a little bang or some tendrils or something, honey. But the wig just down and curly, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. We get to legendary Black actress Robin Givens' office, or her daddy's office, somebody's office, and her mom and dad in there, and I'm sitting here the whole episode trying to figure out, is her mama not Aunt Vi? This woman looked just like Aunt Vi, except then sometimes she didn't. Like, she has Tina Lifford's nose. Like, does Tina Lifford have a twin sister that's also working over at OWN? Because the woman looked enough like Aunt Vi for me to say, oh, that's Aunt Vi. And then later on in the episode, be like, wait a minute, that's not Aunt Vi. Or is it? You know, I spent a whole lot of time trying to figure that out. I never did. Let's see. So legendary Blacktress Robin Givens is talking to her daddy. She wants to take over the law firm, honey. She wants to, you know, she wants to be the next big thing or whatever. Her daddy like, it's not for you, girl. It's not for you. You're not ready. And he says, he makes mention of her bottom feeding husband. And I'm like, what did Richard do? What he did? And she's like, well, need I remind you that I would have divorced my bottom feeding husband, but you didn't want me to because you said it would be a good look for a mayor to be your son-in-law, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, girl, I just realized that I don't care nothing about, I don't care nothing about this. I don't care about their marriage. And so now she and her daddy are kind of beefing. The daddy's like, I know you've been, you know, whining and dining the partners behind my back because you're trying to take the company. And she like, if you would just give it to me, I wouldn't have to. She didn't really say that, but that was, you know, her point. All in all, girl, the daddy says, if you keep being sneaky and making moves behind my back, I'm gonna fire you in front of your face. And they move on. So we find out later, you know, next that Miss Atkins, because you know, at this point I don't have the characters' names. I do learn them later, but up at this point we don't know their names, or somebody do, but I don't. We find out Miss Atkins' husband's name is Titus, and Titus is working for legendary Blacktress Robin Givens' enemy, the white people. And Mr. White Man tells Titus that we hired you because you black. It's a black city. We need black people to go against the other black people so it don't look like the white folks are coming against the black people in the black city. Welcome to the team. Welcome aboard. He called the man a young brother. I was like, oh God, no. None of this. And then he sends Titus off to a meeting, and Titus meets with legendary Blacktress Robin Givens. And he, you know, she walks into the boardroom. He's standing at the window. She says, I hope your company sends someone competent to go against me. He turns around and says, you know, hey, it's me. Hello, it's me. I've been wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet to go over everything. They say time's supposed to heal ya. I ain't done much healing. Hello, little Adele for you. Can you hear me? You know, it gets, you know, I can't just move on. It gets stuck. But he turns around, she sees him, and, you know, it's like, you know, very shocked. I can't believe. Well, Titus, whatever his last name is. Why am I shining? I ain't even got no oils on today. It's just my natural glow. Anywho, let's see. Yeah, she gives, you know, well, Titus, sir, Titus, Mr. Black Man. It's been so long, you know, Anita Baker, been so long, missing you, baby. You know, I can't just move on. Anywho, they talk about everything but what they supposed to be talking about. She says, Titus, we have been a lot of things. What did she say? Enemies, partners. Then she says lovers, and I'm like, lovers? You know, I would really say it like, lovers. Does Essence Atkins know y'all was lovers? And then she goes on to say, but we've never been friends. And they move on, you know, whatever. We find out that legendary Blacktress Robin Givens, whose name we now know is Stephanie, lost her sister Tracy to opioids. And again, that blood drawing needle would have killed anybody. You fill that thing up with opioids and rip. Rip. We then find out, and I'm thinking, before I move on, I'm thinking that Tracy's death was suspicious. I'm thinking that someone had something to do with her death, aside from, you know, the people who are putting opioids out on the streets. So then we move on and find out that Miss Atkins, we still don't know her, or I still don't. They might have said it, but again, I be half paying attention, girl. Miss Atkins and Titus have sent their daughter Deja off to a boarding school. Deja's not happy at the boarding school. She wants to come home. Titus says, well, let's bring her home. Essence Atkins' character says that she wants to keep her daughter in the boarding school while she works on her philandering self and her marriage. I was too through. You would rather have your daughter be unhappy, cross the country, and can't come home, then it just, it really felt gross to me. It's like you put your daughter second because you cheated on your husband, and now you want to fix it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. We find out in this conversation that Essence Atkins stole Robin Givens' man back in college. And I'm like, okay, so what are we what are we saying here? Are we saying that Essence Atkins and Robin Givens were in college at the same time? Because it's got to be 10 years between them. I'm going to have to go over to the Google. I know for a fact Robin Givens is 54. Let's see how old Essence Atkins is. Essence Atkins is 47. Okay, she's older than I thought. She's older than I thought. But still not quite old enough for them to have been in college together 30 years ago. Are we trying to say? I mean, Robin Givens looks great. She looks great in the face, but the neck. I mean, and it's just a natural thing for most people. When you get older, your neck, your hands, you know, your feet, your titties, all start to tell your age. They all start to just reveal the truth. And I mean, I guess for the sake of TV, I'll watch and believe that they were in school together, but I don't, I don't believe it. And are we supposed to believe that they're younger than they are because Essence Atkins stole Titus from Robin Givens? If we're being, you know, accurate, as DJ Khaled would say, that was 30 years ago. 30 years ago. I don't understand. Anyway, girl, the point is Essence done stole Stephanie's man. Let me adjust this because I'm squatting. Next thing you know, we see Robin Givens in the tub, honey. She done got that leg up, like Alexander Rogers would say. She done tossed her leg up to the ceiling. I said, you is flexible.
Oh, you is flexible.
You is flexible. And like, I'm like, because you see her in the tub and you see Titus come in the room. And I'm like, girl, ooh. You know, being real messy. Ooh, are they cheating? Are they sleeping together? Ooh. You know, is Carly really Titus's girl? Listen, because Carly don't look nothing like Little Richard. That might be Titus's baby. But then we find out that it was all a dream. I was like, legendary black actress Robin Givens is having a lot of these dreams, very vivid dreams that draw me in. I'd be like, girl, what's gonna go on next? What's happening? We see, are we at the gala? Yeah, we at the gala, and look, Little Richard's character, Brian White, aka Little Richard, aka his character's name is Evan Lancaster. Mr. Lancaster and Mrs. Lancaster are an ugly couple. They not cute together. They not cute together. They don't match. Maybe they did that on purpose, maybe they didn't. I forgot to mention that prior to the gala, Mrs. Lancaster, Stephanie, legendary black actress Robin Givens, is getting a dress, you know, tailored or made or something, and her what do you call it, her seamstress, her stylist, whatever, says, you know, he won't be able to keep his eyes off of you. And she's like, child, when you've been married as long as I have, you ain't gonna get a second look. Anywho, that's not what's important. Y'all come on down to the gala. Like, she invites the stylist to the gala. So the stylist is there, the Lancasters are there, including the daughter Carly. Auntie from the restaurant, we find out that she also, we might have found out earlier, I wasn't listening, but I find out that she is also a Lancaster. She's the mayor's sister, and the white people are at the gala as well as Stephanie's parents, because this gala is about Tracy, may she rest. They at the gala, child, somebody is interviewing them. She was a poor interviewist. It was poor, it was very poor, but I'm happy that, you know, a black woman got some work. We thank God for that. It was time to bleach my brows, child. My eyebrows are the darkest hair on my body. They just grow in so black. So black. Anywho, what else? Okay, so the who is it? It wasn't the Lancasters. Oh, Essence Atkins character, who we find out at the, or I found out at the gala, is what did I put? Amara. Amara is her name. So Amara and Titus meet with the white people. I can't, Purefoy, Purfoy, whatever, white folk. At the gala, they meet, and Titus introduces the white people to his wife. His wife is like, hey, how y'all doing? You know, we was in Alabama. And the white wife says, well, you know, did you grow up in Alabama? And she says, oh no, I'm from Houston. I grew up on the south side. And white lady says, oh, it's so great that you pulled yourself up from your bootstraps. And I'm like, well, sis, who told you I was down in the first place? I really would have questioned that, because I'm the type of person to be like, I don't know what you mean. But anyway, she walks off, goes and gets herself something to drink, and she meets with Mayor Lancaster's. Yeah, it's just a fancy name to me. I had a teacher named Miss Lancaster. She was trash, but I like the name. Mayor Lancaster's sister and Amara meet, and they chit and chat for a little while, and then you see legendary Blacktress Robin Givens pop up, because Titus met her over at the bar. And she's like, well. And I'm like, she should have been Maleficent. She says, Titus, you know, it seems like just yesterday I saw you. Oh, wait, it was. And Essence Atkins is like, you saw her yesterday? I was tickled. She's like, oh, no, I read an article and you were, you know, in it. And I was like, and it's got me like, dang, was the dream a memory, or was the dream a dream? Like, was it a dream? I'm still trying to figure out the same thing with Tracy. Like, was the dream a memory, or was the dream just a dream? I don't know. My lips are so dry, girl. Let's see. So, daughter Carly Lancaster meets with white girl Purefoy in the bathroom, and as soon as I saw Carly Lancaster walk into the bathroom, I said, gay. Like, literally, she walked in the bathroom, I was like, here's the homosexuals. I do this thing where I'm watching a new show, and I try to spot the homosexuals. It's, you know, because there's going to be a gay male or female couple or bisexual in the show, period. So I'm on a mission every show I watch to find the gay one. And as soon as I saw Carly walk in the bathroom, I said, gay. There it is. My mama was shocked though, and I'll tell you why. They're in the bathroom, they're arguing, you know, my family is trying to make a difference, and your family is getting people addicted to opioids, and your family is black and my family is white, and beef, like they're beefing, but it's like upper echelon beef, like we rich, and I'm just telling you about my family and how legendary they are. It's really my daddy can whoop your daddies behind at any time. You remember back in elementary school, the kids that had daddies, I wasn't one of them, would be fighting. They'd be like, well, my daddy can whoop your daddies behind. Yeah, it was very that. And next thing you know, what's her name? Purefoy, the white girl, says, have you come out to mommy and daddy yet? And I'm like, now when Carly Lancaster walked into the bathroom, y'all gave a real, you know, it's nice to finally meet you. And now that y'all in the bathroom, you take Carly Lancaster's phone and giving, you know, do your parents know you're homosexual? And I'm like, how do you know that Carly Lancaster is a homosexual? Y'all just met. Y'all supposed to have just met, and you know the girl. I mean, I knew, I clocked it, but that's me. I have a gift. Y'all just met. She takes the girl's phone, puts her phone number in the phone, and does the unthinkable. If anybody ever did this to me, my mother and I created a saying last night. It's new, but it's catching. That we would beat somebody up to the chandeliers. Like, you're going to whoop them up to the chandeliers. If she had done what she did to Carly Lancaster, to me, I would have whooped her up to the chandeliers. Let me tell you what she did. Lean in close, I gotta tell you. She licked the girl's mouth. I was disturbed. She took her tongue out of her mouth, put it on Carly Lancaster's mouth, her lips, and licked them, and walked out the bathroom. I don't know you. I don't know where your mouth has been. I'm disgusted and disturbed. But Carly was standing there stuck on stupid girl. She was froze. Anywho, Amara and Stephanie are out there talking about, you know, how they used to be in the same sorority, honey. They're sorors. And I'm like, girl, they probably AKAs. You know, I don't do AKAs. No shade if you're an AKA and you're watching. I just don't really click with y'all like that. I don't click with y'all like that. I really don't care for deltas much either. I don't like sororities. I think they're ridiculous. But, you know, if that's your lot in life, congratulations. Congratulations. There's no hate to you, honey. We love you. I love you just the same. I just don't think it's, for me, personally. I understand it's fantastic networking and blah, 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 girl. I love that for you. But for me, I don't care for it. Anywho, and I'm still just like, so I'm expected to believe that y'all was in college together. I don't. I don't. Unless you went like in the PhD, you know, graduates programs or something, and Amara was a freshman. Anywho, so Mr. Lancaster, Mayor Lancaster comes over, and you know, Stephanie Lancaster introduces Titus and Amara, I don't remember their last names, to her husband. Her, you know, Titus's reputation preceded him, and he's like, oh, the old boyfriend. Well, old boyfriend meet new husband. That's what Mr. Lancaster says. He's like, you know, nice to meet you, Evan. And Evan is like, I prefer Mayor Lancaster. And I'm like, how insecure does little Richard have to be? Ugh, I hate him. I hope he dies. The character, not Brian White. Anywho, so we at the gala, you know, still. Aunt Violet, who may or may not be Aunt Violet, but it's Stephanie's mama, is up on the mic talking about Tracy and how we loved her and how, you know, we got this fund and we're trying to stop the opioid crisis or whatever. And Mr. White Man, who apparently his pharmaceutical company is putting opioids, you know, getting people addicted to opioids or whatever, he stands up and donates a $500,000 check, matching the $500,000 check that the Lancaster family, or whatever Carly's mom and daddy's name is, they family put up, and now it brings the fundraiser to $1 million, and everybody's like, yay, all right, woo, except the daddy want to go up there and whoop his behind, but we can't do that right now. We can't do that. Then after the gala, we see Amara and Titus having some sort of an argument or whatever, and she's giving, you know, have you seen her? You saw her. And why didn't you tell me you saw her? And he like, cause you crazy. You was finna blow this out of proportion. We was working. And she's like, I should have never told you I was pregnant. And I'm like, ooh, she pregnant now? Is you pregnant? And then, you know, they explained that it was back in the day, back in college. She was pregnant, and then they got married, and then she lost the baby, and she feels like she should have not married him. And I'm like, well, y'all married now and y'all got Deja. So here we are. And he's like, well, I didn't want Stephanie, I wanted you. And I'm like, are they all supposed to be the same age? Or is Stephanie supposed to be like a cougar? What is going on? Then we see Mayor's sister. She's in danger because they want to buy her restaurant. That's like the whole point of all of this. They want to buy her restaurant. Stephanie's family wants, I guess, to sell, what's her name? Ranisha. It was the Lancaster sister. Want to sell her restaurant, and she doesn't want to sell. And so they like, there's a threatening white man that keeps popping up in her place of business, and at the end of the episode we see her, somebody walks into the restaurant, and she's like, oh, we're closed, but they keep going, and then you see her kind of backing off into like the kitchen, I guess, and she's screaming, and we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe she died, maybe she not, but she's not dying, because I saw in the preview she's still in the in the season. But they get undressed from the gala, Stephanie and Evan, Little Richard Lancaster, and basically she's trying to convince him to convince his sister to sell the restaurant. She's saying no. You know, they do some back and forth arguing. He says something about her sister, like, you should have known your sister was a junkie or something like that, and I guess that was her trigger, because before that he says that you can't pay attention to any man because you're in love with your daddy. I was like, oh, what are we saying? Oprah Winfrey Network, what are we doing? Did Tyler Perry write this? Y'all let me know now so I can jump off the ship. I'm not doing it. She slaps him. Can I just say, legendary black actress Robin Givens is the queen of a smirk. The queen. Nobody can outsmirk Robin Givens, not anybody. She slaps him, and then he says something about her sister being a junkie and how she should have known it. And he, like, at some point had her up against the wall. He was finna, I guess, hit her. I don't know what they was finna do, girl. My mama said, is this foreplay? I said, I hope not. But look, I don't know for sure. The next thing we know, out of nowhere, legendary black actress Robin Givens, aka Stephanie, has a gun cocked and put on this man's temple. I said, this is my kind of carrying on. My kind of carrying on. She says, if you ever say anything like that to me again, it'll be the last thing you ever say. And, you know, he gets up and runs, honey, out the room. My mama said he was going to change his pants. And next thing we know, we see the silhouette of a body in the shower. And I'm like, who is this? I don't want to be in the shower with you. And, you know, the shower door opens and she peeks over her shoulder, all like she was expecting somebody to just open her shower door. Now, let me tell you something. When I'm in the shower, I've built up a nice, good humidity. A nice, good humidity. If you open the shower door or the curtain while I'm in it, you're letting out my humidity and letting the cold air in onto my wet skin, and I'm going to be mad. But she looked over her shoulder all demure and cute. And next thing we know, we see little Richard, girl, coming in the shower, and they get ready to do it, and they do it. And I'm like, this is not sexy to me. This is not sexy. But now we know he's sleeping with the stylist. And I'm like, the stylist, that she was talking to Stephanie about her man, and then she's sleeping with her man. The nerve. But anyway, that's Ambitions. It's a great show. I enjoyed it. You know, like I said, I've been depressed and I'm kind of disconnected, but what I did catch, I liked it. So yeah, I'll be back next week, I believe. Like, comment, subscribe, and all the things that YouTube is saying. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.